In the quiet hum of our modern world, where science and ancient faith often seem to dance on separate stages, there exists a whisper, an echo from forgotten times that challenges everything we thought we knew. Imagine for a moment that the stories etched in the bedrock of our civilization, the very narratives we call sacred, hold secrets far grander and more astonishing than any sermon could convey. We're talking about the Bible, yes, but not the version you've heard in Sunday school. We're talking about the chapters that went missing, the verses deemed too radical, too unsettling for mainstream consumption. What if, buried within these ancient texts, among the prophecies and parables, lies a hidden narrative of beings from beyond our world and colossal figures that walked the earth in ages past? Prepare yourself, because today, we're re-embarking on a journey into the Bible's lost chapters. What ancient texts really say about aliens and giants? For centuries, scholars, theologians, and curious minds have debated the literal interpretations of biblical passages. Was the firmament simply the sky, or something far more complex? Were the sons of God, who took human wives, merely powerful men, or something else entirely? And what about the Nephilim, those legendary giants of old, born of these unusual unions? Could it be that our understanding has been deliberately, or perhaps inadvertently, incomplete? Consider this. The canon of the Bible, as we know it, wasn't established in a single divine decree. It was a painstaking process, spanning centuries, involving councils, debates, and ultimately, decisions made by human hands. What criteria were used to include certain books and exclude others? Were some texts deemed too controversial, too challenging to the prevailing worldview? It's here in these questions that the tantalizing possibility of lost knowledge begins to emerge. Think about the sheer volume of ancient texts that existed alongside what eventually became our canonical scriptures. From the enigmatic Book of Enoch, a text revered by early Christians and quoted in the New Testament before its mysterious disappearance from most Bibles, to the Book of Giants discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, these forgotten narratives offer a parallel universe of understanding. The Book of Enoch, for instance, delves into astonishing detail about watchers, celestial beings who descended to earth, intermingled with human women, and imparted forbidden knowledge of metallurgy, cosmetics, and even astrology. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? It resonates with tales from other ancient cultures, from the Sumerian Anunnaki to the Greek Titans. Could these be mere coincidences or fragments of a global shared history that has been deliberately obscured? And then there are the giants, not just allegorical figures, but beings described in various ancient texts with physical attributes that defy conventional human understanding. The Bible itself mentions the Nephilim in Genesis 6, mighty men of old, men of renown. But the Book of Giants takes it a step further, describing their immense stature, their insatiable appetites, and their eventual demise in a catastrophic flood. Could these be the very foundations of the flood myths found in cultures across the globe, from Mesopotamia to indigenous American tribes? What if these stories aren't just ancient fables, but rather historical accounts, albeit highly symbolic and deeply profound, of a time when the world was a very different place, inhabited by beings unlike ourselves? The implications are staggering. If these accounts are even partially accurate, it forces us to reevaluate our place in the cosmic order, to question the very origins of humanity. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Let's talk about the chariots of God, the wheels within wheels, and the fiery clouds described by prophets like Ezekiel. For centuries, these vivid descriptions have been interpreted metaphorically as visions of divine glory. But what if we approach them with a more open mind, through the lens of modern understanding? Could Ezekiel's detailed accounts of flying craft, accompanied by brilliant light and powerful sound, be descriptions of advanced technology, misinterpreted by a pre-scientific society as supernatural phenomena? Imagine encountering a helicopter or a drone for the first time in an ancient world. Wouldn't it seem like a miraculous, even terrifying, manifestation of a higher power? The parallels between these ancient descriptions and modern UAP sightings are striking, almost uncanny. It forces us to ask, were these celestial visitors, these angels, simply beings from another dimension, another planet, or another time, interacting with humanity in ways we are only now beginning to comprehend? Consider also the numerous instances in ancient texts, both within and outside the biblical canon, where knowledge is imparted to humanity by these seemingly divine or extraterrestrial entities. Agriculture, architecture, astronomy, law. These fundamental building blocks of civilization appear to have burst forth in human societies with remarkable speed, almost as if gifted from an external source. Were these gifts simply divine inspiration, or were they literal transmissions of knowledge from more advanced civilizations? The very foundation of our understanding of history, of human evolution, could be radically altered if we consider these possibilities. The notion that ancient peoples were merely primitive hunter-gatherers, slowly developing technology over millennia, might be an oversimplification, a narrative that conveniently omits a critical piece of the puzzle. Now, some might argue that these interpretations are purely speculative, born of modern sensibilities being imposed upon ancient texts. And indeed, critical analysis is crucial. However, the consistent themes, the recurring motifs of celestial beings, advanced knowledge, and colossal figures across disparate cultures and ancient writings beg for a deeper examination. It's not just one isolated passage. It's a tapestry woven with threads of shared experiences and enigmatic encounters. From the Epic of Gilgamesh with its tales of demigods and mythical creatures, to the Hindu Vedas describing flying Vimanas, the echoes are undeniable. Could it be that these lost chapters and forgotten narratives are not merely historical curiosities, but critical pieces of an ancient puzzle waiting to be reassembled? And what about the concept of the firmament? In Genesis, it describes the division of waters above and waters below. For centuries, this has been explained as the sky separating the clouds from the oceans. But ancient cosmologies, particularly those found in the Book of Enoch, paint a far more complex picture. They speak of celestial spheres, of vast, unseen realms, and of the very fabric of existence being structured in ways that defy our simplistic understanding of a three-dimensional world. Could the firmament be a reference to a multi-dimensional reality, or perhaps even a protective barrier designed to separate our earthly realm from other, more advanced civilizations or even other dimensions? These are not just theological debates. They are questions that resonate with cutting-edge theoretical physics and the very search for life beyond Earth. The more we delve into these forgotten texts, the more we confront the limitations of our conventional interpretations. The narratives of ancient Israel, often seen as isolated and unique, begin to intertwine with the grander narratives of other ancient civilizations. The gods of various pantheons, the angels and demons of Abrahamic faiths, and the ancestors of indigenous traditions all begin to blur at the edges, revealing a possible common origin point. Could these be different cultural interpretations of the same phenomena, the same interactions with non-human intelligences? The implications for our understanding of spirituality, of our own consciousness, and of our place in the universe are truly profound. This isn't about debunking faith. It's about expanding its horizons, about discovering a richer, more complex narrative that has been patiently waiting for us to rediscover it. So as we continue to peel back the layers of these ancient manuscripts, as we allow ourselves to question the accepted narratives, we begin to glimpse a past far stranger and more awe-inspiring than we ever imagined. A past where giants roamed, where celestial chariots soared through the skies, and where knowledge was imparted in ways that challenge our most fundamental assumptions. This journey is far from over. In fact, we're just scratching the surface of what these lost chapters truly hold and what they could mean for our future. The questions only deepen, and the answers, it seems, are waiting in the shadows of history, ready to reshape our understanding of everything. So, what have we truly uncovered in the Bible's lost chapters? What ancient texts really say about aliens and giants? We've journeyed far beyond the familiar narratives, pushing the boundaries of conventional understanding to explore a tantalizing possibility that ancient texts often dismissed as mere myth or allegory, may in fact contain veiled accounts of interactions with non-human intelligences and colossal beings that once walked our earth. We began by questioning the very foundation of the biblical canon, recognizing that its formation was a human process, susceptible to the inclusion and exclusion of texts based on various criteria. This opened the door to the hidden world of extra-canonical books like the Book of Enoch and the Book of Giants, texts that offer shockingly detailed accounts of watchers descending from the heavens, intermingling with humanity, and imparting forbidden knowledge. These weren't just abstract concepts. They describe beings with physical presence, capable of actions that profoundly impacted early human civilization. We then delved into the enigmatic figure of the Nephilim, not as mere men of great stature, but as the offspring of these unusual unions, figures described as giants in both biblical and apocryphal texts. The consistency of these giant narratives across various cultures, from the Near East to other continents, suggests a shared memory, a collective echo of a forgotten age. This challenges our linear understanding of human evolution and invites us to consider a more complex past, one where humanity's stories intertwine with beings from beyond our current comprehension. Furthermore, we dared to re-examine the seemingly metaphorical descriptions of celestial phenomena in texts like Ezekiel, where chariots of God and Cat, wheels within wheels, suddenly take on a startlingly modern resonance when viewed through the lens of unidentified aerial phenomena. The parallels are too striking to ignore, suggesting that ancient encounters with advanced technology might have been interpreted through the only framework available to them, the divine. This perspective bridges the gap between ancient spirituality and modern UAP research, proposing that these phenomena might be two sides of the same ancient enduring coin. Ultimately, this exploration isn't about debunking faith or undermining belief. Rather, it's an invitation to expand our understanding, to embrace a broader, more profound narrative of humanity's past and its place in the cosmos. It suggests that the stories we consider sacred might hold keys to unlocking mysteries that transcend time and space, secrets about our origins, our potential, and the true nature of reality. The lost chapters are not merely historical relics. They are living testaments to a hidden history beckoning us to look closer, to question deeper, and to imagine a universe far more intricate and astonishing than we ever dared to believe. And this, my friends, is just the beginning. The threads we've pulled from this ancient tapestry are connected to a much larger, more intricate design. What other secrets lie buried in the dust of forgotten civilizations? What else do these ancient texts whisper about our cosmic heritage, about the true nature of reality, and about the beings that have shaped our world in ways we are only just beginning to grasp? The journey continues, and the revelations are boundless.